Well, courtesy of one of my most favorite sites in the whole wide world, Zero Hedge. Quick look surprised as if we did not tell you this was coming. 2 more banks start charging select clients for holding cash. In other words, negative interest rates at your bank. You want to store money here, we're going to charge you for it. And you're going to say, well, I thought you only charge me interest when I get a loan from you, and you use my money, courtesy of me leaving it with you, to give other people loans. Of course, it's fractionalized anyway, so you can put in 10% of the money and they loan out the other 90%. That's another story. But now it is, oh, you need a loan? We're charging you interest. Oh, you're going to leave your money here for us to use to loan out to other people? Yes. I mean, that's what happens anyways when it's there. Oh, we're now going to charge you for that. So you're going to charge me money for me allowing you to hold my money? Who in the F do you think you are? Well, let's find out. Last weekend, when we reported that Germany's Raiffeisenbank Gmund am Tegernsee, Jesus, a community bank in southern Germany, said it would start charging retail clients a fee of 0.4% on deposits of more than 100,000. We said that now that a German bank has finally breached the retail depositor negative interest rate barrier, expect many more banks to follow. And I'm almost certain I would have done a video on that and said the same to my fellow subscribers. Not even a week later, not one but 2 large banks have done just that. Overnight, the Irish Times reported that Bank of Ireland is set to become the first domestic financial institution to pass on the ECB, or European Central Bank's, negative rates, that's the equivalent of what our Federal Reserve is doing, to customers for placing their money on deposit with the bank. You know where I could see this going? Certainly in America. I mean, we're all Western, they're Western, we're Western, so it's going to just happen, right? Could you imagine? I mean, we've already seen this, actually, in the example I'm about to give you. But can you imagine them doing this with the banks? Obamacare. If you like your insurance, you can keep your insurance. Oh, sorry, I can't keep your insurance. Oh. Oh, that's expensive. Ooh, another rate hike. Ooh, another rate hike. Oh my God, a 3rd rate hike. Oh my God, a 4th rate hike. Oh my God, a 5th rate hike. I can't afford health insurance. I guess I won't get it. Oh, sorry, sir, you're going to get fined. 2015, you get fined. 2016, you're going to get fined. 2017, and the fines keep going up. Am I getting fined? Supreme Court, is this a fine? Because you can't do that. No, it's not a fine. It's not a fine. It's a tax. Oh, you're forcing me to buy from a private party. Because if I don't, you charge me a fee for not doing so. Right? So here we go. Imagine people saying, well, the hell with that. I'll take my money out of the bank. Put it somewhere else. Sorry, we just passed a law today. If you don't keep your money in the banking system, we're going to fine you. Not fined, but we will fine you. And we know exactly how much money you got and where you moved it because we watch all that stuff. And if you try to move it somewhere else and not pay the fine, we'll just confiscate it and put it back. You could easily see this coming. Overnight, we read that last one again. The Irish Times reported that the Bank of Ireland is set to become the first domestic financial institution to pass on the ECB's negative rates to customers for placing their money on deposit with the bank. The newspaper has learned that Bank of Ireland, which is 14% owned by the state, here you go, state as in government owns it, get ready, right? They're already charging you, has informed its large corporate and institutional customers that it plans to charge them a negative rate of 0.1% for deposits of 10 million euros or more starting in October. So that's for the big corporations. As with all other banks, initially, only a small group of customers will be affected by the charge, and while the bank has indicated that it has no plans to levy a negative interest rate on either personal or SME customers, increasingly more banks are lowering the threshold of eligibility. For example, the German community bank is now charging those with only 100,000 in the bank long until the minimum required balance is 10,000 or lower. However, as the Irish Times notes, this will be the first time an Irish-owned institution has applied a negative interest rate on deposits, breaking the long-held tradition of a bank paying customers to hold their money. A spokesman for Bank of Ireland said its policy was not to comment on its pricing, but we keep all our rates under review. Which means what? Nothing. Ulster Bank. Ulster or Ulcer? I think you might need to change your bank name to Ulcer because you're probably going to cause a lot of ulcers in people. Ulster Bank, which is owned by UK lender Royal Bank of Scotland, has already quietly introduced negative interest rates for a small number of large corporate clients. Ulster Bank has products priced off the back of Euribor, a European interbank lending rate, which is at an all-time low and turned negative last year. This charge by the bank does not apply to SMEs or personal customers. Additionally, as Bloomberg reports, Royal Bank of Scotland, Britain's largest taxpayer-owned lender, said some of its biggest trading clients must pay interest on collateral as a consequence of low central bank interest rates. Some of the bank's institutional clients will need to pay interest on funds pledged as collateral when trading futures contracts. The bank said in an emailed statement on Friday. The changes for sterling and euro futures and options trading will probably affect about 60 large clients, a person with knowledge of the matter said earlier Friday. Quote, due to the sustained low interest rate environment, RBS will now be passing the cost of holding such deposits onto a limited number of our institutional clients. The bank said in a statement. RBS said it had previously applied a 0% floor to the overnight rate charge for collateral required by clearinghouses for future traders. And as the Financial Times adds, this is the first sign the Bank of England's decision to cut rates to historic lows is forcing lenders to collect negative interest from deposit holders. And ironically, unlike Europe, the UK's rates are still positive, even though the Bank of England recently cut the rate to an all-time low of 0.25%, as it unveiled it would resume monetizing government and corporate bonds. In other words, doing what the Federal Reserve did over here, these buybacks, with this $80 billion printed a month to buy this garbage, stinking, rotting debt. Not even in your wildest dreams could you ever call it an asset. 100% on the dollar, 100 pennies on the dollar. You got it, buddy. Like I said, wouldn't it be nice to be able to take and buy a brand new car that the second you're driving off that lot, it just lost probably $5,000, $7,000, $8,000. And then a month from now, it's going to lose another few thousand. And in a year from now, it's going to probably be half of what it's worth. Wouldn't you like to be able to go back to your favorite auto dealer called the Central Bank or Federal Reserve? And not everyone could do this. Only you, because you're part of a special club. And say, I need to sell you this car. It's used. It's a year old. It's already got 35,000 miles on it. Check engine lights on too. But anyways, I need to get $50,000 back on this car. No problem. Sign the title over. We'll pay you in full today. It'll be wired today. $50,000 is what I paid for the car. Yeah. It's a year old with 35,000 miles. It's probably worth maybe $30,000. Yeah. You're going to give me full brand new price for? Yeah. You're a member of the club. Of course. Don't have that crazy look on your face. You're a member of the club. That's what they're doing. They're doing it in Europe too. As it unveiled, it would resume monetizing government and corporate bonds. It may soon cut rates to negative. And while the RBS move affects only a subset of business customers, some lenders in Europe, where both the European Central Bank and the Swiss National Bank have kept interest rates below zero for months, have been charging a wider array of customers to hold their deposits. Quote, what you're seeing is there have been a few banks in Germany and a couple in Switzerland which have started to charge for deposits. Importantly, it's to corporate customers, or very wealthy people, said Andrew Lowe, an analyst at Berenberg, quoted by the Financial Times. You're likely to see the UK banks follow suit, in particular if rates fall further, he added. Everything that applies to Europe applies to UK banks as well. Oh, and I'll add one, and it'll be applying to America as well, because we're the Western world with them. And after a certain period of time passes, it will also apply to less than very wealthy people. You got that right. If you don't got your precious metals, I'll say it for the 5 millionth time. You better get some. Take care.